I am a scholar of liberal arts, observing from Japan as America faces one of the greatest crises in its history. The turmoil in America today is not merely political, it is the result of a deeper loss. It is the loss of understanding where the very spirit of American democracy comes from. The Greco-Roman foundations of American democracy. American democracy is not just a system of government, it is a philosophy, one built upon the wisdom of ancient Greece and Rome. The Greek philosophers, Socrates, Plato and Aristotle, taught that virtue is the foundation of a just society. They established the four cardinal virtues: prudence, wisdom, the ability to discern truth and goodness, fortitude, courage, the resilience to stand for what is right, temperance, self-discipline, mastery over one's desires, justice, the balance between individual rights and communal responsibility. The Roman Republic institutionalized these virtues, making them the foundation of governance. The idea of res publica, public affairs, meant that citizenship was not just a right, but a duty. A republic could only survive if its citizens practiced virtue and took responsibility for the common good. These ideas profoundly influenced America's founding fathers. John Adams once stated, "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." What did he mean by moral and religious people? He was referring to the virtue-based ethics inherited from Greco-Roman philosophy. A democracy cannot survive without wisdom among its people. Freedom cannot be defended without courageous citizens. A society without self-discipline will collapse into decadence. A nation without justice will descend into chaos and division. But Greco-Roman philosophy alone was not enough. It was Christianity, specifically the concept of Agape, divine love, that completed the moral framework of Western civilization. The love of Jesus is only realized through virtue. The American spirit was formed through the fusion of Greco-Roman virtue and Christian love. But here is what must be understood. Agape is not unconditional tolerance or blind compassion. Agape must be realized through virtue. Love without wisdom is mere sentimentality. Love without courage can protect nothing. Love without temperance becomes indulgence. Love without justice turns into hypocrisy and corruption. Jesus' message was not that love is an excuse for moral weakness. His love was a call to action, a call to live virtuously and uphold righteousness. If people preach love without virtue, they are not following Christ. They are surrendering to laziness and self-indulgence. A society that embraces love without virtue will face the same fate that Dante described in Inferno, a descent into a moral wasteland. Without virtue, Dante's Inferno awaits. In Dante's Divine Comedy, sinners in hell are judged according to their vices. The ignorant wander eternally in darkness, never knowing truth. The cowards flee forever, unable to stand for what is right. The indulgent drown in their own excesses. The hypocrites are weighed down by their own falsehoods. This is not merely literature, it is history. It is what happens to civilizations that abandon virtue. Democracy does not sustain itself. It relies on the self-reflection of its citizens, on their ability to uphold truth, justice, and wisdom. Montaigne asked, "What do I know? Que sais-je?" This was not mere skepticism. It was the foundation of self-reflection, the process by which individuals refine their virtues and ensure that society remains just. A nation where citizens abandon self-reflection will not remain free. It will fall into hedonism, mob rule, and eventually tyranny. President Trump, Mr. Musk, what do you think? Tocqueville, in Democracy in America, warned that democracy cannot survive without virtue. If virtue is lost, democracy will decay into mob rule, and ultimately tyranny. Does America today have wisdom? Does it have courage? Does it have self-discipline? Does it have justice? If America loses these virtues, it will lose its Greco-Roman intellectual heritage. It will misunderstand the true meaning of Jesus' love, and it will descend into Dante's Inferno. President Trump, Mr. Musk, how do you view the future of education? How can it ensure that its citizens do not become lost in ignorance, fear, and indulgence? Now, the world is watching. Life with Leif, Liberal Arts for Everyone, Soichi Nakamura, political philosopher.